Hey guys, in this video I'm going to do a quick review of the top 10 most popular neutral legendary cards being used right now in the current Hearthstone expansion, Saviors of Uldum. To make this breakdown as objective as possible, I've used actual game data taken from millions of games of Hearthstone as recorded on hsreplay.net. The goal of this video is to give you insight into the legendary cards that you're going to want to craft and to help you prioritize them if you're not sure where to start. These cards will give you great utility and flexibility in your decks no matter what cards you have in your collection right now, and especially if you're still working on building that perfect deck or climbing a little further up the ranked ladder. Before we get into it, remember to drop a like if you enjoyed the video and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. I feel like setting a target of 10 likes is going to be pretty epic for this little channel, so let's try for that. With this said, and without any further ado, let's check out the cards.
Leroy Jenkins!
Coming in at number 10 is Leroy Jenkins. Good old Leroy is a staple of the game and was introduced all the way back in the Hearthstone beta. You can find him in classic card packs, and unlike every other legendary we'll look at today, he probably won't rotate out anytime soon, meaning that he is really good bang for the dust. Found in just over 10% of all decks being played, Leroy offers high burst damage at a relatively low cost, and he can be found in a variety of different deck types, including more budget and aggressive decks like Mech Hunter, Zoo Warlock and Murloc Shaman. With a win rate of over 54%, this is definitely a key card to have in your collection if you're new to the game, given that he's so effective in cheaper decks, but also because he maintains his value as you build out a more premium deck. Moving on to number 9, Barista Lynchen. This one was a bit of a surprise to me, as I often don't come across Barista Lynchen on the ladder. In doing a bit of digging, I think this is mainly because she features really strongly in only a couple of decks, namely one of the most, if not the most popular meta deck being played at the moment, Quest Shaman, or whatever. She also features quite strongly in some Highland Mage builds, but isn't really found in many other meta deck builds at the moment. The fact that she features in 11% of decks, I think just highlights how many people are playing Quest Shaman right now, and who can blame them with the impressive win rate of 56%. Given that she's part of the Rise of Shadows expansion, which was the first expansion released this year, we can expect to see her for at least another full year or more before she gets rotated out. That said, given that we have at least one more expansion coming out this year, and knowing that that will impact the meta in as yet unknown ways, she's probably not going to be at the top of your list to craft unless you really love specific decks or can build something fun and unique that takes advantage of her battle cry. On to the next card. Coming in at number 8 is Siamat. I hope I said that correctly. Also referred to by some as Big Rushy Bash Bash. This card was introduced with the Saviors of Uldum expansion, and he can be found in almost 1 in every 5 decks being played right now, with an awesome win rate of 54.7% observed from over 500,000 games played. What makes Siamat special is the flexibility of his battle cry. You can use him to take out 2 big minions with a Rush and Wind Fury combo, or create a serious wall with Taunt and Divine Shield, and so on. He's a big enough threat to force your opponent into having to use key spells and cards to get rid of him, allowing you to follow up with other big cards in your next turn that become harder to remove. Given that he's so new, we can also expect to see him around for at least another year, and I think his utility means that he's going to continue to be a big favorite for some time to come. He's a popular card in a variety of decks, but particularly Highlander decks, as well as Secret Hunter and Secret Paladin meta decks. Definitely another key consideration for you to add to your collection if you don't already have him, and good motivation to do those daily quests to get that coin to buy those packs. In at number 7 is Snip Snap. If you're around during the Rise of the Mech event, which took place between June 3rd and July 1st of this year, and logged in at any time during the event, then you would have received a single golden copy of Snip Snap totally free, and he'll already be in your collection. If you didn't do that, or if you only started playing after July the 1st, then bad luck. You're going to need to craft him for the usual 1,600 dust. Even though he was only introduced earlier this year, he was put into the Boomsday card set, and that set is due to rotate out early next year. Presumably, Snip Snap will leave standard at the same time, as I don't believe anything to the contrary has been confirmed by Blizzard, but if you have any other insights, please feel free to leave a comment with the details. Given that Snip Snap was handed out as a free legendary, this is a super popular card across many different deck types, featuring in almost 1 in 4 decks being played at the moment. He's great in aggressive mech decks, and his echo effect means that you can create multiple versions of him, or just one big mech in the later rounds of a game. Snip Snap might be worth considering if you don't already have him and you want to play with other mech decks, but otherwise, even though he is very popular, I might save my dust for some of the other legendaries still coming up in our list.
Die, insect!
In at number 6 is Ragnaros the Firelord. Ragnaros actually rotated out of Standard some time ago, but was recently reintroduced for the Doom in the Tomb event that's currently in progress. This means that you have access to this card right now and you can incorporate him into your decks immediately. Ragnaros is one of 5 free legendary cards available at the moment, and spoilers, there are 3 others in our list today, showing just how popular these old legendary cards were and still are. We're not sure yet when these cards will be taken away. It could be as soon as the end of the month, so capitalize on them while you can because they might not be around for very much longer. Coming in 5th place and hot on the heels of Ragnaros is the second of the 5 free legendary cards available to you at the moment as part of the current event, N'Zoth the Corruptor. Again, because he's free, he's floating around in a lot of decks right now at around 25%, but his win rate is somewhat more modest at just 51.5%. He's great if you want to build a deck around a lot of Death Rattle minions, especially given that he's a freebie at the moment. In at 4 is one of my all-time favourite Warcraft characters, Sylvanas Windrunner. I love using her to clear a big minion while taking control of another one. Again, she's in loads of decks at the moment as she's the 3rd of 5 free legendaries out right now, and she has a win rate of just over 52%. So not totally amazing, but still such a cool card and my personal favourite in the list. Rounding out the top 3 is Zephyrs the Great. The Great Zephyrs. Personally, I was surprised that he was only in at number 3 given how often I see this card show up on the ladder. He's one of the all-round most popular legendary cards around at the moment, and again because he is from the latest expansion, he'll be around for some time to come. When you take these facts into account, then of all the cards we've been through so far, this is my personal number 1 card to craft, just because of the insane versatility he brings to any deck if you know how to use him properly. He is the perfect get out of jail card when you find yourself in a tough spot, like needing to clear an entire board, and he's also great at giving you the spell you need to finish off a stubborn opponent that just won't go down. Expect him to be around for at least another full year, and get this guy on your list of must craft cards somewhere at the top. He's used in literally every kind of deck out there right now. Coming in 2nd place and taking the silver medal is Emperor Thaurissan. The Emperor is the final card in the collection of free cards that are sitting in your collection right this very minute. He's being used in almost 1 in 3 decks right now and is a fantastic card for making your expensive cards a little cheaper while quickly taking the focus of your opponent as a must clear minion. So he's usually not around for longer than a turn or 2, but even pulling him out for a single turn can change the tide of battle in your favor. So hey, he's free, put him in your deck today if he isn't already chilling in there. Okay, it's time to reveal the number 1 most used legendary card of all. Have you figured out who it is yet? I've used the word neutral throughout this video, but this next card is the most used legendary in the entire game right now. More so than any and every class legendary available as well.
Unity, precision, perfection.
Gold belongs to none other than Ziliax. Used in a massive 42.9% of all decks being played right now, and with a healthy win rate of 52.9%. The stats almost indicate that if you want to win games, you absolutely have to have this guy in your deck. He's great in mech decks and awesome at stealing you some health when you need it most. Ziliax works so well with other cards and spells, and the 5 mana cost is really not that expensive either. The only drawback to crafting this card right now, as far as I can see it, is that he's also part of the Boomsday project, which I expect to see rotate out of the Standard Ladder by April 2020, assuming Blizzard stick to their usual release schedule. That means you have about 6 months of fun and domination left if you craft this card today. Like I said earlier, for me, it's a really tight race between Zephyrs and Ziliax, and honestly, I guess I would probably have to look at crafting them both. So there you have it, guys. That is the list of the most played neutral legendary cards being used right now. What did you think of the cards, and do you expect any other legendaries to make their way into the list anytime soon? How many of these legendaries do you already have? Let me have your thoughts in the comments, and also let me know what other lists and stats you guys would like to see in the next videos. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.